Jorge Chávez Dartnell, a Peruvian aviator, is remembered as one of the pioneering figures in the history of aviation. His daring attempt to cross the Alps in 1913 marked a significant moment in the early days of flight, a time when aviation was still in its infancy and the risks associated with flying were immense. Chávez's journey was not just a personal challenge, but also a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of pushing boundaries. His story is one of triumph, tragedy, and the indomitable spirit of exploration. Born on June 13, 1887, in Paris, France, to Peruvian parents, Jorge Chávez was raised in a family that valued education and innovation. From a young age, he exhibited a keen interest in engineering and mechanics, which eventually led him to the burgeoning field of aviation. At the time, the world was captivated by the possibilities of flight, thanks in part to the Wright brothers' successful powered flight in 1903. Chávez was among the many who were inspired by these early achievements, and he quickly became enamored with the idea of conquering the skies. Chávez began his aviation career in France, where he trained as a pilot and earned his license in 1910. Over the next few years, he participated in various aviation competitions and exhibitions, gaining a reputation as a skilled and daring pilot. His performances in air shows across Europe helped him build a name for himself in the aviation community, and he soon set his sights on a more ambitious goal: crossing the Alps by air. The Alps, with their towering peaks and unpredictable weather, presented a formidable challenge for early aviators. At the time, no one had successfully flown across the mountain range, and many considered it an impossible feat. The combination of high altitudes, strong winds, and limited aircraft technology made the endeavor extremely dangerous. However, Chávez was undeterred. He saw the Alps as the ultimate test of his skills and the capabilities of his aircraft. In 1913, Chávez began preparations for his historic flight. He chose a Blériot monoplane, a popular aircraft at the time, for the attempt. The Blériot was a single-engine plane with an open cockpit, and while it was relatively advanced for its time, it was still a fragile machine compared to modern aircraft. Chávez made several modifications to the plane to improve its performance, including reinforcing the wings and adjusting the engine to handle the high-altitude conditions he would encounter over the Alps. The flight was scheduled for September 23, 1913. Chávez's plan was to take off from Ried Brig, Switzerland, and fly across the Simplon Pass, a high mountain pass in the Alps, before landing in Domodossola, Italy. The distance was approximately 40 miles, but the real challenge lay in navigating the treacherous mountain terrain and dealing with the unpredictable weather conditions. On the morning of September 23rd, the weather was less than ideal. The skies were overcast, and there were reports of strong winds and turbulence in the mountains. Despite these conditions, Chávez decided to proceed with the flight. He was determined to make history, and he believed that his skills and the modifications he had made to his aircraft would see him through. As Chávez took off from Ried Brig, a crowd of onlookers gathered to witness the historic event. The plane climbed steadily, and soon it was just a speck in the sky, disappearing into the clouds. The flight was fraught with challenges from the very beginning. The strong winds buffeted the small aircraft, and Chávez had to constantly adjust his course to avoid the mountain peaks. The thin air at high altitudes also posed a problem, as it reduced the engine's efficiency and made it harder for the plane to maintain altitude. Despite these difficulties, Chávez pressed on. He navigated through the Simplon Pass, skillfully maneuvering his plane through the narrow gaps between the mountains. The flight was a testament to his piloting skills and his ability to remain calm under pressure. As he approached Domodossola, it seemed that he had achieved the impossible. The crowd waiting at the landing site erupted in cheers as they saw the plane emerge from the clouds and begin its descent. However, tragedy struck just moments before the flight was to be successfully completed. As Chávez prepared to land, the plane suddenly went into a steep dive. The exact cause of the crash remains a subject of debate, but it is believed that the combination of strong winds and the strain on the aircraft's structure caused one of the wings to collapse. The The plane plummeted to the ground, crashing just a few hundred meters from the landing site. Chávez was pulled from the wreckage alive but severely injured. He was rushed to a nearby hospital, where doctors worked tirelessly to save his life. Despite their efforts, Chávez succumbed to his injuries 4 days later, on September 27, 1913. He was just 26 years old. The news of Chávez's death sent shockwaves through the aviation community. He was hailed as a hero, and his daring attempt to cross the Alps was celebrated as a monumental achievement. Even though it ended in tragedy, Chávez's flight had demonstrated the potential of aviation and inspired countless others to take to the skies. His legacy lived on, and he became a symbol of courage and determination. In the years following his death, Chávez was honored in various ways. In Peru, he was celebrated as a national hero, and his achievements were commemorated with statues, monuments, and the naming of streets and schools in his honor. In 1957, the Jorge Chávez International Airport in Lima was named after him, ensuring that his name would be remembered by future generations. Chávez's story also had a profound impact on the development of aviation. His flight across the Alps highlighted the need for better aircraft design and more advanced navigation techniques. It spurred further research and innovation in the field, leading to the development of more reliable and capable aircraft. The lessons learned from Chávez's attempt helped pave the way for future aviators to achieve even greater feats. Today, Jorge Chávez is remembered as one of the pioneers of aviation, a man who dared to dream big and push the boundaries of what was possible. His flight across the Alps remains a defining moment in the history of flight, a testament to the human spirit's unyielding desire to explore and conquer new frontiers. Though his life was cut short, his legacy endures, inspiring generations of aviators and adventurers to reach for the skies. In conclusion, the story of Jorge Chávez's crash is one of both triumph and tragedy. It is a story of a young man who dared to dream and who, through his courage and determination, achieved something that many thought was impossible. His flight across the Alps was a milestone in the history of aviation, and his legacy continues to inspire those who seek to push the boundaries of human achievement. Jorge Chávez may have fallen short of his ultimate goal, but his spirit and his contributions to the world of aviation will never be forgotten.